Hello everyone, this is part 2 in the Plants vs. Zombies Fusion modding tutorial series that I'm making. In this part, I will be going over how to modify plants, both how they look and how they function in game. So this won't necessarily be about custom plants. That will most likely come in the next part or a future part, because I still have to learn a bit more about making custom plants. I don't know them fully, but once I learn them fully, I will provide a tutorial on how to do that because I know that's a popular thing. But for now, we're just going to be focusing on modding pre-existing plants. So this video will be divided into 2 chapters. The first chapter will be replacing the textures of the actual plants, or zombie, or whatever it is. That will apply to any texture in the game, by the way. It doesn't have to be plants, but for this tutorial, we will be specifically doing plants. So that'll be the visual side of things. And then the second part will be the coding side of things. So actually changing how the plant functions, what they do, like changing what kind of bullet they emit, like if it's a pea, if it's a snow pea, if it's a cherry bomb, things like that. Or if they're like a sunflower, for example, do they emit sun, do they emit coins, do they emit whatever, right? So it'll be in the same. Both chapters will be in the same video. They'll be separated by a timestamp in the description. So we're gonna get into the visual part, and for this, you're actually gonna need 2 new programs that I'll link in the description. The first one is UABEA, which stands for Unity Asset Bundle Extractor Avalonia. I think Avalonia is a new library that they're using for newer Unity versions. I used to use just regular UABE for like older versions of Unity, but now I guess Unity has updated a lot of things, and UABE hasn't caught up to that. So this specific version, which I'll link in the description, is what we're going to need. So I'll go ahead and extract that right now. Just right there. And the second one you'll need is Asset Studio GUI, which will also be linked in the description. And this is used for, I forgot to mention what UABE is used for. This is for actually replacing the files, viewing the files and actually putting stuff in. You can export files with that, but we're going to be using Asset Studio GUI to export files because this makes it a lot simpler to export files in bulk and be able to view files properly instead of just having to guess and check. So I recommend using this for viewing files, and then we're going to be using this for actually modifying the files. So we'll drag it right here, and then I'll just extract this out. Again, both of these will be linked in the description, and just give this a second. Alright, so then we have both of our programs here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open up Asset Studio, and I'm going to open up Asset Studio GUI.exe, this file right here. Just ignore that warning, just click more info and then run anyways. And now that we're here, we're going to go to the top left, click File, then we're going to load a file, and what you're going to do is you're going to locate your Plants vs. Zombies Fusion download. So right here, I'm just going to go into the English version, I'm going to go into Game Files, and then I'm going to go into Plants vs. Zombies RH_data. Now I'm going to go into data.unity3d. This is important. This is the main file with all of the different kinds of textures, files, and stuff like that. This is the most important with all of the assets of the game. So we're going to open this. And if you're using the original Chinese version, you just have to go into the same folder, Plants vs. Zombies RH_data, when you open it up. I just went into Game Files because that's what is with the multi-language patch, or the English version, right? So now, once you see finish loading 6 files with whatever, you're going to go up again to the top and click Asset List right here, this button right here. And now we can see we have a bunch of different, files, right? So for example, let me try to find one right here, right? We have a bunch of different textures. This one's for Sword Master Star, I think it's called. This one's for Alchemist Umbrella. This one is for the Inferno Torch. So yeah, there are a lot of different textures here, and if you only want to see textures, which is what we're mainly going to be focusing on, modifying textures, we're going to go all the way back up to the top, and we'll see this button called Filter Type. Now I'm going to press this, and then I'm going to go to Texture 2D. I'm just going to click Texture 2D, right? And now I can see, okay, I only have textures, and you can sort them by name by clicking the name button. So you'll see, like, now we can sort them by alphabetical order, and you can see we have a bunch of different textures here, right? Now, what I recommend doing is looking around for whatever texture you want to replace, right? So you can just go around and look. Most plants will be named like how they are, like related to the game. So for example, if I wanted to get, let me think, like just regular repeater, right? Or no, it's actually a bad example because I think it's called something different, right? Like double P, yeah. So, you know, like if you want like a repeater kind of thing, you'll look for double of something. You won't look exactly for a repeater. I don't think repeater even exists in here. Yeah, no, repeater doesn't exist, right? But most of the time they'll be named something similar to what they actually are in game. So for example, like cherry bomb magnet, cherry magnet, cherry bomb, potato mine, cherry nut zombie, you know, things like that, right? Now, also, something to note is that if you're looking for advanced fusions, they're most likely going to be called super underscore something, right? So, example, this one, super hypno, this one, oh, this one's just regular, that's like super catling. This is super gargantuar. This is one of the like advanced like plants, like zombonis. This is okay. This is an Odyssey plant, but yeah, here's one of the advanced. This is another one of the advanced ones, and yeah. And then Odyssey zombies, like Odyssey fusions, are often going to be called super, or they're going to be called ultimate something, right? So ultimate, that's not ultimate, what am I doing? Ultimate star, right? Like we have Magnetar right here, we have the Laser Pumpkin, we have Witherbolt, and also a lot of the Odyssey zombies, so like Ultimate Jackson, Ultimate Gargantuar, you know, and also a Football Zombie. Oh, well, that's not what I expected it to be. It's Poseidon, but yeah, so you'll see, you can just look through each of these files. It may take a while to find the file that you're exactly looking for, but what we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking for a specific text, or a specific sprite sheet, right? So this isn't going to be a sprite sheet, right? Like you can't just edit this and then it'll appear like that in game. Although we will edit this and put it in the game, this is not the exact sprite sheet, right? This is just like the preview image that you'll see in game. So like when you're choosing your seeds, like the seed packet, this will be the image that appears, right? But this isn't the actual plant in game. So you know what? I'm actually going to use this, right? Because I already have it selected. So usually there will be two files named the same thing. One of them will be the sprite sheet. It's going to look something like this, like all of the parts are separated into different things. And then one of them is just going to be like the full plant together. This is usually the preview image, and then this is the sprite sheet. So what you're going to do is you're going to export both of them for whatever plant you want to use. For example, I'm just going to use this one, the Ultimate Cannon. And I'm just going to export this somewhere that I know. I'm just going to make a new folder. I'll just call it anything. Tutorial assets. And then I'm just going to export it right there. And then that folder will open like this. And you'll see another folder called Texture 2D. Now you're going to go into Texture 2D. And you'll see both of your textures right here, right? So one of them will be the preview image, and then one of them will be the sprite sheet, right? So the sprite sheet is the most important one. You don't have to edit this, but if you want your plant in game to look different, you're gonna have to edit the sprite sheet. So you can edit this in any program that you want. I'm just gonna go into a website that I like to use for thumbnails called Pixlr.com, and you can see I have a few thumbnails right here. This one's for this video. I make them in advance. But what you're gonna do is you're just gonna want to open the image in whatever software you want to use. Again, this isn't required. I just like using this program. But yeah, so you can edit this however you want. I'm just gonna do a simple, I don't know. I'm just gonna make it gray, or I can make it like, you know, purple. How about that, right? Let's do that. And then I'm just gonna save that image, right? Save it somewhere that you know you're gonna use it. I'm just gonna save it to the same place, tutorial assets. I'll just save it right here, right? And I'll actually do the same to this. So let me just do this, not this. Yeah, I don't really care if that's the same thing. It's just, you know, it's for a tutorial, it's whatever. So yeah. So now you see that we have our two new textures, right? Now that we have these two textures, now we need to know how to put them in the game. So the way that we do that is we use the second program, or I guess the first program, the way that I showed them, UABEA, right? So you're going to open this up, and you're going to scroll down until you see this file, UABE Avalonia. It's going to have this purple UABE icon. I'm just going to open that. Again, ignore this warning, just click more info and run anyways. and you're going to see this pop up of it, right? So now what we're going to do is similar to this program, Asset Studio. We're going to click File, Open, and then we're going to navigate to our installation, the same Plants vs Zombies RH_data folder, and we're going to open up the same data.unity3d file. Now it's going to say this, and you're just want to click File, right? The bundle is compressed. Just click File. And now this is going to take a while. I recommend just saving this as something, so I'll just save this as unpacked. I like to call this unpacked. And this process is actually going to take a while because the files for this game are actually very large. So, oh, never mind. I guess it didn't take that long. But yeah. Usually, for the first time that I did it, it took a really long time. I guess I was just my computer acting up, but yeah. So, actually, I'm going to close this out. What we're going to do is we're going to go back here, and what I want you to do is I want you to note these two path IDs. Okay, you see these numbers right next to under the path ID column right here. In this column right here, I want you to note these two numbers for the files, right? So 230 and 687, right? Or whatever number it is, like for example, if you're doing this plant, the Titan P turret Odyssey version, you're going to want to use 455 and 808, right? But for this one, I'm going to be using 230 and 687, right? So when I go in here, I'm going to change this. I'm going to click this drop down icon right here, and I'm going to go to resources.assets. This is where most of the assets for the game will be. For plants, I believe all of the assets are in this file, and you're just going to click this, resources.assets, and click info. Okay. And now what we can do is we can use these two numbers to immediately find the file that we want to edit, right? So if we go into UAVEA and click View, and then click Go to Asset, leave this resources.assets thing here. We can enter one of the numbers from this, right? So I'm going to use 230. And again, if you're using another path ID, you just plug in that path ID and click OK. And as you can see, I have Ultimate Cannon right here, the same thing that I have right here, right? Now this 230 is going to be the sprite sheet, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click Plugins, Edit Texture, click OK. Then you're going to see this pop up. Click Load. This is right next to Texture. Click Load. And then import whatever file you need to import. So for this one, it's the sprite sheet. So I'm going to import the sprite sheet. Then when it's done loading, click Save. And you can see when you know, the way that you know that I edited is that you'll see this little asterisk right here, right? Like this little star thing under the modified column, okay? Now I'm going to repeat that process, but for the second texture, right? So this one is 687. So I'll go back here, go to Asset, 687, and boom, I see it selected right here. Then I'm going to click Plugins, Edit Texture, OK, click Load, and then select the icon that I want to use. So go ahead and click Save. Now when you're done with all of that, you're going to want to click File, and then Save. And then now we can close this out, because now the file has saved itself. Then what we can do is we can click, then when we close that out and we go back to the original window, we have to click File and Save once again. And now everything will be saved inside one file. Now the thing is, the file that was made, right here, data unpacked, is very large. As you can see, right, it's like incredibly large, right? Like 1.7 gigabytes, right? So the way we can compress that is by going to we can click File and then Compress. Now you've modified this file. Oh, I forgot to mention. Click Open and then click and go back to the game files, PVZ Fusion, RH, whatever, and click this file right here, because we saved all of it. We unpacked it, but we saved all of it to here, right? And you'll know which one it is by telling which one was edited later. So for example, I edited this one at 4:38 p.m., but this one I edited at 4:41 p.m., right? So this one was later, so we're going to open this one, right? Now you're going to want to click File and Compress, and then, oh, hold on. Not my fault. Actually, to do this, I forgot one step. You're just going to want to rename this to something. I'm just going to name it Ultimate Cannon Edit, because I edited Ultimate Cannon. You're going to press this, and you're going to press Compress, and then save it as data.unity. Yeah, just remember that name, data unity 3D. It's not here because I haven't started yet, but Remember, I'll leave that name in the description so you can copy and paste it, but that is the name for the file that the game will use. So if it's not there, then the game won't load, I'm pretty sure. So yeah. Now, once you do that, you're going to be popped with this message box, and it'll say, do you want to use LZ4 or LZMA? Press LZ4. I know it's this larger size, but LZ4 is what Unity commonly uses. I've heard games that use LZMA, but I'm pretty sure that most games use LZ4, and I'm sure that PvZ Fusion uses this because it worked when I was doing it with the LZ4. I'm not sure if LZMA will work. You can test that on your own, but I personally like to use LZ4 because I know that's safe. So we're going to press LZ4. And this is the long part. I think I mixed up this with the other part, but this is the very long part, so I'm going to pause the recording right here and we'll be back. Alright, so now that the file has finished compressing, you'll know when it just closes out and you'll see this. Now that we just have our file, right? And you can delete this. You can close this out and just actually, yeah, I'll delete this. And then what you can do is you can open this for future use and then save the file as something else and then compress it as this, and so on and so forth. Just so that you don't have to keep uncompressing it, you can just open this. Now to test that the files are actually edited, I'm going to open up Plants vs. Zombies Fusion. And you know what, actually... Alright, now what I actually did was I installed a mod menu for Plants vs. Zombies Fusion. Just so that I could spawn the plant a bit quicker, so I'm just gonna go into a random level, and I think I need these plants. I hope I'm not mistaken. And I'm just gonna give myself a few modifiers. Sorry. All right. So I'm just gonna. Oh wait, crap! I need. Stupid. Okay. Anyways. So as you can see, we have our new plant, and if I shoot this, it's all purple, right? That's not purple. That's a different thing I have to edit, but, you know, and if I move this around, you see we also have this. This is like the preview image I was talking about. You see how the plant's moving. This is the sprite sheet version, so yeah, if I create more of these, you know, right? So now, how do I affect how this plant actually works, right? So I want to know, okay, can I change, like, the kind of explosion? Can I change, like, I don't know, how fast the plant recharges? So that's what the second part is going to be about. So now I'm going to close this all out, and I'm going to open up the tutorial mod that we made in the previous version, or the previous video. So I recommend watching that first before you get into this part. If you just want to replace files, this is all you need, but if you want to replace how the plant actually works, this is getting into the coding part. So I'm going to go to Visual Studio 2022. I'm gonna open up where is it? Tutorial mod, I believe it's called. Was that? Yeah, I think it was tutorial mod. Yeah. Okay. Now, this is the template code that I typed in the description of the last video. Now, I'm also gonna open up dnSpy just so that we can look at the code of the game. And I'm gonna go to whatever the file you edited was, right? So usually if you're editing a plant, the file name will be the same as the name in the code. So as you can see, Ultimate Cannon is right here. Now, this will most likely have some function where you can edit the shooting, like whatever it shoots, like the type of bullet. If not, you might have to edit something like Cop Cannon itself or like plant, but for this, I'm actually going to view what Cop Cannon is in a new tab. If I can, yeah. So yeah. It has a bunch of different functions. I wonder if, I don't know. But, yeah, so as you can see, we have some things like anim shoot for anim sub shoot. This is like the secondary tech, I believe. So anim shoot, I believe this should have something. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use the type, which is Ultimate Cannon. And then Ultimate Cannon. And then I'm going to edit a function. I think I'm going to do... Actually, I'm going to try to edit the update function. I want to see if I can get it to make it so that it, like, instantly recharges. So that's something we can do. So I'll do update. And then I think I'm going to do a second plant. Without editing the textures, we can do a second plant to show, like, how editing a few other things, like a pea shooter or something. But yeah, so I want to see instance dot is there anything I can edit that might be like reloading? So let's see, is there anything like, maybe regeneration? I'm not sure if regeneration is, no, this is a Boolean, so I don't think that regeneration is that. Let me see. The plant attack countdown. This could be something. We could try to edit this, or attack interval. I'm not sure. Let's see. The status could also be something. Let's actually view what plant status is. Like, this is also a tip. You can also look at plant status. Let's see. This doesn't seem like anything. Yeah, this doesn't seem like it edited anything, so... but yeah. Most of this is just going to be going through and, like, checking out different things, like, can we check if we can edit X, Y, Z, or whatever. So let's see. Anything here? Alright. Since I can't find anything right now, I'm going to pause the recording and come back when I actually do find something, but if you want to find what you're actually trying to, whatever you want to do with this, I recommend just going through different variables, seeing which ones, like, look like it'd be something. So I might try attack countdown. This seems like something pretty good, so I might try this. I'm actually going to try this right now instead of pausing, right? So let's just set this to 0 and see what happens. Now I'm going to build this again. These are all simple steps from the, sorry, wrong button. These are all simple steps from the first tutorial. Let's see, debug this, yep, tutorial mod, and I'm just going to copy this into the game files right here. And we'll see how that goes. Alright. It's going to take a while to load because of the translation mod, but yeah. So as you can see, it loaded our tutorial mod. We haven't gotten any errors yet, which is pretty good. So let's see. I'm just going to set all this up. And if I go into level 1, you know, pick the plants that we need, you. Let's see, does the cooldown go away? Doesn't seem like it because it still has this initial cooldown, but we'll see. Alright, since it doesn't seem to do that, so now we're just gonna have to try a different thing. So the attack countdown, the plant attack interval could also be something. Again, if we don't know exactly what things do, we're just gonna have to keep guessing and checking. And this is a process of a lot of modding, you know, just trying different things, you know, throwing things at the wall, seeing what sticks, if that makes sense. But yeah, I'm just gonna keep making simple changes like this, and we'll see what happens. I think I'm actually going to pause the recording until I do find something, but yeah, you're just going to want to keep going through different variables to see what they do if you don't know exactly what they do. Obviously, some variables are going to be more obvious than others, and like the plant health, right? Like I could make this infinite, and it'll always just do this, right? But so I'm just going to pause until I get something down. Alright, now I did end up finding something that kind of worked. So if I just plant that or do that, then it'll immediately just start the cooldown afterwards. So what I did was I kind of just went through different of the countdown. So I kind of just did countdown because I know that countdown maybe something. It necessarily wasn't the plant attack countdown, I guess, because it's kind of like a unique attack. So I used attribute countdown. And just set this to a really small value. If I set it to 0, it kind of just like the cop cannon didn't load it anyway. So I kind of just set it to a really small value, and now it kind of just works like all the time. Like after one explosion, boom, I can just do it one after the other. Right. So yeah, but I don't want this to be the only example because it kind of felt weird. You know, I had to go and do some stuff, and Cob Cannon is, like, plants like Cob Cannon are generally weird to work with. So I think what I'm going to do next, I'm actually going to make a custom thing for the pea shooter, right? So let's do something with the pea shooter. Alright, so I've set up my patch for the pea shooter. I just changed the type from Ultimate Cannon to pea shooter, as it's called in the files. And now I'm going to look for a function to override for this. So let's see. Oh, I'm just going the wrong way. So pea shooter where is he? Okay, he's right here, right? So I see that pea shooter only has one function. It's anim shoot. So I'm just gonna do this. So anim shoot. So remember the type pea shooter right here, the function right here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make the pea shooter shoot really fast and do a lot of damage, right? So let's see, instance dot. Okay, let's look at something that we can do, right? So attack damage could be something. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set this to like, I don't know, 9,000, right? And then instance dot. Let's see. Is there anything like or maybe, or I don't know if attack cooldown would actually work this time. Or attack interval, maybe. Let's do attack interval. Let's say this is something really short, right? Like that, right? I have to set this, right? So let's see what this does. Game files. Yeah, okay. So I'm just gonna put this in the mods folder, and we'll see what happens. Go again. Sorry if you can hear something in the background. My brother's practicing a saxophone. But yeah, so let's just go in. I'm just gonna set this up so I can check this out. So yeah, so if I plant this right here, and then I put a zombie right here. Let's see. Okay. Okay, so yeah, now we can see that this is working. So I guess that initial thing was, I don't know, it's kind of weird, but let me spawn something I know it's gonna be like tough, right? Like this guy. See, he's like immediately going down, right? And like the pea shooter is shooting really fast, right? So let's see, how fast can I take on all of these guys? So yeah, as you can see, we can just like change different variable about this. You can also do something like I don't know, or maybe the plant speed actually. What if we just like set this to like 20? What happens then? Yeah, let's just play around with different things. Yeah. Oh, I have to close the game. Let's see what this does. The game upload. It always takes a while with the translator mod. Alright, so go back in, set this. Put that guy right there. Let's see. Okay, that didn't do what I was expecting it to, but as you can see, we can just set different things about the plant itself, right? So, okay, this feature is kind of crazy, but yeah. So hopefully that was a better example than the Cob Cannon one, because this one was kind of more straightforward. You know, you just changed a few values. The Cob Cannon one was a bit weird because you had to look for a special thing because Cob Cannon is a special attack, but hopefully this shows how to modify different things about the plant. And obviously for different plants, like, I won't go into another example, but I'm just going to use, like, something from here. So, like, for example, right, I don't know. Let me think of something good to use. I have no idea, but, like, maybe for jalapeno, right? You could probably change something about jalapeno, you know, make the damage higher, or, like, make it hit more lanes. But that's more like a complex mod, but yeah, like, so you can just change different values and you'll get different results, like that pea shooter that was just going crazy. Say that again. Right. So but yeah, so you can change it, you know, make it the damage different, the attack interval different. So yeah, different things about the plant. So I hope that shed some light on how to like modify plants more properly. In the next video, which will most probably be modifying or making custom plants, I'll show how to do more in-depth kind of attack patterns. But for now, I think this is good enough for like a basic, just, you know, modifying regular plants, right? So I hope this tutorial was helpful. I'm gonna end it right here because I don't think there's much I can go into. I hope that this was clear. You know, modifying the textures, and then, you know, modifying different things about the plants. This was very simple. Like, so it doesn't really show the more like complex things you can do, but obviously with the more like complex plants you're using, the more functions it will be, the more things you can change. But yeah, for now, I hope this gives like a baseline sort of idea on how you can modify plants. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what future parts you want to do. Definitely doing custom plants in the future. I might do like modifying zombies next, which will probably be like sort of similar, but just with different types for patching. But yeah, thank you for watching. Hope you have a great day. I'll see you guys later.